It is obviously a thrill and a real honor to be here with all of you, with you, Jack, and recognizing not only your accomplishments, but obviously all your family has done for the country, and with Mayor Brown. There is no time that at least I can remember in American life when the sacrifices of what public servants do every day has been more obvious than in the last month or so. So thank you, and obviously to you, Jack, for all the contributions of your family to American life. For me, being here today, I think symbolizes not so much my own or BPI's own accomplishments or achievements, but finally, after many years, after a generation, the central civil rights issue of our time in the United States finally coming to the fore in the public imagination. And I can't imagine a better place for that to happen than the John F. Kennedy Library, who obviously, above all else, John Kennedy in the last 100 years in American life symbolized to Americans an idea of optimism for the future and a sense that we had the capacity to achieve things together. And yet, over the last 30 or 40 years, our biggest investment domestically in American life has not been in the things which someone like President Kennedy prioritized: in education, in healthcare, in housing, or civil rights. Our largest investment has been in punishment, particularly in prisons. And over the course of someone my age's lifetime, or Mayor Brown's lifetime, right, we have, at the municipal level, the state level, and the national level, incarcerated more and more people for longer and longer periods of time, often at younger and younger ages, and for smaller and smaller infractions of the law. And we've done that and made prisons the central public institution in our lives, in our civic lives. And we've done that and simultaneously gone out of our way to make those prisons worse, make them less hopeful, make them places where less can be achieved for people in prison and their families and their communities during incarceration and post-release, right? So what we've done at BARD, as you've seen in this video, is create an institution which was not necessarily innovative. There was college opportunity in every state and federal prison across the United States for a generation until 1994 with the Clinton crime bill. And so what we've done at BARD is build an institution which really sets the tone and sets the standard for the return of real educational opportunity and real hope and real meaning in our prison systems across the United States. And the students that you've seen in these videos, it's so important to remember, are not analogous to, are not in some way like, but they are exactly the same people who our last generation of most distinguished social scientists and leaders in government and in education described as super predators, right? Who we built a giant multi-billion apparatus to keep away from us. And the cynicism that was involved in that was not limited to some imaginary terrible people, right? We were all culpable in it. And the kind of cynicism that led to those decisions, I think, were not limited to law enforcement. They also included the great leaders of the most important secular liberal institutions in American life, and those are our colleges and universities. There is not anyone in this room who thinks that, in my opinion, that any of our colleges and universities are doing what they need to do to prepare this next generation of Americans for the challenges we face in the 21st century. So at BARD, our idea is, how do we refashion, how do we smash the way we've done college admission in the United States and engage as many kinds of Americans as we possibly can in the most ambitious, most rigorous, most dignified kind of education we possibly could. And so the kinds of students you saw here, right, just to name a few, our friend Jewel, who you see released in this from prison in this video, was so inspired by continental literature and philosophy, decided he wanted to learn German so he could read Hegel and Heidegger in the original, right? And Sebastian, who you see talking in such a beautiful way about his inner life in this video, right now is writing a senior thesis on the impact of Japan's invasion of Korea, and that's how that has borne out in Korean culture over the years. And at our last BA graduation 2 years ago at Eastern Correctional Facility, a full half of those graduates, incarcerated men of all ages, a full half of them were majors in mathematics, right? How far does that go to puncture the liberal prejudice that you find in every part of life, of who's interested in what and who's capable of what? And we were very lucky. A few years ago, we've benefited from the friendship of the Archdiocese of New York, and we spent some time with the Cardinal Tim Dolan, and he said something that I try to repeat virtually everywhere I go, which is that the Church believes that God continues creation through education. And as you know, in the Jewish tradition, we believe that learning itself is a form of prayer. Okay? And when I think of the accomplishments of your grandfather, Jack, and of your accomplishments already and to come, Mayor Brown, I think at this moment in American life, when we define success so exclusively about how much money or notoriety we accumulate, and greed is the only value that we share collectively as a society, it seems, right? I think it's so important to remember that there are things we will achieve or fail at together politically, but to make really, truly lasting change, we need to have the courage to believe in ourselves, and particularly young people, and put individuals at the center of that change. And a return to the faith in education and the power of it, in our opinion, is the best way to do it, and the only way for us not to continue, and more importantly, not to repeat the moral catastrophe that mass incarceration has become in our lifetime.